and welcome back to the Misty Morrison Podcast. I'm your host, Misty Morrison, and this is episode 54 of Was I in the Wrong? Here on the Misty Morrison Podcast, we love to judge, we love to give advice, we love to help people look back on situations with that 2020 vision and see how they could have handled the situation more gracefully. Our usual housekeeping before we get into our stories for the day, whether you are new or returning, please remember to engage with the content. Like, share, subscribe, rate, review, leave a comment with your thoughts on the stories down below. All the things. Long form goes up on podcast and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday, and short form content goes up across socials, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, daily, AM and PM. I still do not have my counter, my desktop counter, for those of you who were here in the last episode. It's in the mail. It has made some progress. It is still not here yet. So we're waiting impatiently for that to get here. I'm hoping it'll get here tomorrow, but it's still, I don't think that one, no. I've got a few packages I'm tracking. That one, I believe, has been in St. Louis for 2 days and hasn't moved. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for tomorrow, but realistically, it's maybe Monday, probably Tuesday. We will see. All right, into our stories for the day. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/WIBTA_AITA. Would I be the asshole for asking parents to make their kids use headphones? A local brewery has a beer yoga once a week that I enjoy attending. The atmosphere is very relaxed, and it's a donation-based class with a great teacher and good beer. The class is fairly small, usually between 3 to 8 students. About a month ago, a new group started attending. First it was just a man, then he brought his 2 kids, about 3 and 5 years old, and for the past few weeks it's been him, his wife, and the kids. I wouldn't have any problems with the kids being there if they were well behaved, but they're not. They aren't doing yoga or sitting quietly. They have tablets or phones and are always watching annoying kids programming with the sound on. It makes it hard to focus on the class and definitely takes away the relaxing yoga vibe. They also run around the area, jump on their parents, whine and cry, chomp on chips, slurp soda loudly, and knock things onto the floor. I know it's probably unreasonable to ask them to not come, but would I be the asshole for asking them, either the parents or the instructor, if they could at least bring headphones so the rest of us don't have to listen to Baby Shark while we're trying to relax? Also, would you address it with the parents directly or with the class instructor? Ooh. You would not be the asshole at all, because this sounds unreasonable. If something has not been stated as child-free, but is obviously geared towards adults, yoga and beer, I always ask if children are welcome before I bring my child. It doesn't seem like that's what happens here, because based on the way they're allowing their kids to act during beer and yoga, they don't seem that considerate. I do think that it would be best if the instructor directed this, or addressed this, because if you address it yourself, then you do look, even though you're not wrong for wanting to enjoy your peace, but if you address this individually and you don't have anyone to back you up, then you do look like the asshole who just doesn't like the noisy kids, which is fair. But I think based on the fact that there were already 3 to 8 other people here, and there was a certain, everyone enjoyed it, there's a certain vibe that it was going for, it's at a brewery. The teacher should, if it is a problem, the teacher should address it. And I think if the teacher has not addressed it, you can easily, in private, go to the teacher, discuss your concerns, and see if they will address it with the parents. It is entirely up to the brewery to decide whether or not the children are welcome there. But to ask that they do the basic minimum, the common courtesy of giving the kids headphones for their iPads or their phones, whatever, that's not too much to ask. And if the teacher does ask them to do that, to use headphones, and they refuse, then they are quite obviously the assholes, not you. The only other thing that I could say is if you are friends with any of the other people who are attending, discuss it with them in private and maybe go as a group to talk to the issue with the instructor so that the instructor sees many people in the class are affected. They're more likely to say something to the parents. Yeah, you're right. You're not asking too much here. Story number 2 is coming to us from WIBTA_AITA. Would I be the asshole if I brought homemade goodies for Christmas? I love baking. It's my thing, and I'm pretty good at it. Recently, I asked my sister-in-law what dessert she wanted me to bring for Christmas supper, but she told me not to bring anything because she bought a pumpkin pie at the store, and her aunt is bringing a pie. I'm a little hurt because I've been looking forward to this since Thanksgiving, and I already bought all the ingredients for cookies and tarts. My husband and mother think I should bring something anyway, but I'm not sure. Would I be the asshole if I brought something anyway? Listen, I love me some pies and some cookies. If it's sweet, I probably like it. If it's baked, I probably like it. I love food. But I think if you had already decided that you were going to bring something anyway, you shouldn't have asked. Because if you didn't ask and you just did because you were being thoughtful, who's going to say anything about it? But if it's who'd you ask your sister-in-law? If it's at your sister-in-law's house and she specifically said, don't bring anything, then I'm bordering on you would be wrong to ignore her wishes for her home. I hate to say you're wrong because you are being generous here. You want to provide something for all the guests to enjoy, and you're offering something different than what is already going to be available. You're offering cookies and tarts, and it sounds like all that was going to be available was pie. People would probably really enjoy them. But because you asked, see, here's where the ask for forgiveness after comes in. But because you asked and you did not get permission, it probably looks bad if you do bring something against her wishes, depending on what kind of person your sister-in-law is. Your husband and your mother both think you should bring something. Your husband probably knows his sister best. Is she going to throw a fit about it? Is she going to be mad? What is her reaction going to be if you bring the cookies when she asked you not to? That's important to consider. I love the idea of bringing them. I think had you not asked, I would have been like, yes, absolutely, take the cookies. But you did ask, and she said no, and if it's at her house, it does at that point then, when you know they're not wanted by her, it does feel weird, if not a little rude, to bring them regardless of the answer. Because if you're going to bring them regardless of what she said, why did you ask in the first place? I don't want to say you're wrong because you're trying to be so thoughtful and generous. I'm just going to call this one a mess. Yeah. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/WIBTA_AITA. Would I be the asshole if I told X's girlfriend he sent me a ring for Christmas? That's quite a gift. Update, she's aware and fine with everything. Her problem, not mine. They are perfect for each other. Okay. They should always put the update at the bottom. But let's see what happened. I have no idea if I'm in the right place, but here goes. I, 40 female, broke up with X, 51 male, about 3 years ago. We dated for 5 years. I had evidence of him cheating. He immediately started dating AP after the breakup. Him and AP are still together. They seem more in tune with each other's needs, which I'm happy for the both of them. I also have since moved on and am happy with my present relationship. Problem. Over the years, I have had to block him from every part of my life. Personal phone, work phone, all social media, etc. Unfortunately, I can't block random Google Voice numbers, landlines, and USPS. When we were together, he always seemed fixated on his past exes. I've caught him more than a few times messaging them, calling them, and sending them gifts, part of the reason for breaking up. And since we broke up, he has been doing the same to me, which is why I have blocked him from everything I could. He has always denied to me, but not publicly, that AP was his current partner. I have never met or spoken to her. I have told him countless times that I am in a relationship and my current partner and I need him to leave me alone. Yesterday, I received a gift that finally made me irate. For his current partner also, he sent me a ring in the mail. I immediately mailed it to his house. Would I be the asshole if I messaged her on social media and told her what he's doing? I have no idea if she knows anything about his habits when he's drunk, how he messages his exes, goes on dating sites, etc. TLDR, ex of 3 years is dating the woman he cheated on me with. I blocked him on everything, but he still sends me stuff in the mail like rings. This is weird. This is really, really weird behavior. Okay, the update said she's aware and fine with everything. Her problem, not mine. They're perfect for each other. I think that is the best attitude to have about it. Let's see, what was the original question? Would I be the asshole if I messaged her on social media and told her what he's doing? No, you would not have been the asshole. I don't know, because you said she's aware, so I take it that you did message her. Probably, that's what that sounds like to me. I do think it sounds like you were coming from it from a good place. One, you wanted to protect yourself in your current relationship, and you wanted to make sure she was aware of his behaviors. So, no, I think you would be right in messaging her and letting her know. But I also think you're right. They're perfect for each other if she is okay with this unhinged behavior. Truly, that is kind of off the charts. Not because he's doing it to you specifically, but because it's a pattern of breaking up with people and then liking them more once you broke up and continuing to spend your money on them and send them gifts that are unwanted. That's creepy. Almost stalker level. No, it is stalker level because you have blocked him and he makes new numbers just to contact you. It is stalker level. He's a creep. Yeah, you're right. Whew. I mean, I hope he leaves you alone now, but I would start documenting things and recording things and maybe build a police file because this is questionable behavior. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/pick A or B. A or B, 100% $1,000 versus a 30% shot at $10 million. Picture this. You're broke, hungry, cold, you've got $10 left. Just enough to buy a meal and get through the day. Then someone gives you a choice. You only get one shot. You can take guaranteed money and stabilize your life right now, or you can gamble on a massive win that could completely reset everything. Knowing there's a real chance, you walk away with nothing. A, you get $1,000 guaranteed. No risk, no tricks, it's yours. B, you get a 30% chance at $10 million, but there's a 70% chance you get nothing. And this is where my brain locks up. $1,000 is real money. That's food, warmth, maybe a jacket, maybe some breathing room. It actually solves the problem I'm in right now. But 10 million? Just thinking about it spikes my heart rate. That's not fixing a problem, that's nuking my entire life and starting over. At the same time, 30% isn't great odds. A 70% chance of walking away empty-handed feels brutal, especially when you're already at the bottom. So, what are you choosing and why? Oh, this one's like a brain teaser. I love this one, but I think it's an easy choice for me. I gotta get my signs out here. And I'm sure there will be lots of people who have lots of different opinions, and I'm not judging anyone for their choice in this imaginary scenario. My choice is A, $1,000 guaranteed for a lot of reasons. Reason number 1 is if you take option B, 70% chance you get nothing. Fact is, I don't have that great of luck. If I took that bet, I'm probably in the 70%, not the 30%. I'm probably getting nothing. And especially thinking about the situation where you are already at the bottom. You're broke, hungry, cold, you only have $10 left to your name. This could be wrong thinking. I don't know. I'm definitely not a financial planner. That is for sure. If you're already at the bottom and you have nothing, The $1,000 could be enough to change your life. It could be enough for a down payment on a small apartment, or it could be enough for just a small car so you can afford to travel back and forth to work. Or if you've got a car that's broke down, it could be enough to fix it so you can start working again. Or if you have a place and just the electric shut off, that could be enough to get your electric back on. It's certainly enough to get you a meal and a jacket. $1,000, depending on your situation and how you use it, can make a big difference in your life. It's always interesting to see, when what people say is a lot of money and how that differs from person to person. When me and my boyfriend first got together, like, we were at a friend's house and they had something for sale, and I was like, and I loved it. Like, he could tell I loved it. And it was $100. And he's just like, "You want it?" I was like, well, yeah, I want it, but I can't have it. And he just took $100 out of his wallet and paid them. And it was mine. And I just like stared at him. I was in shock. I was like, that's a lot of money. He looked at me funny. He's like, "That's not a lot of money. It's $100. And like at that point in my life, $100 was a lot of money. So this $1,000 that is like 100% yours guaranteed, to a lot of people in certain life circumstances, is life-changing money, that $1,000. So yeah, I pick A. I take the $1,000, use it wisely, do what I can with it, because I don't need my entire life fixed for me. Long term, I don't think just $10 million or an unlimited sum of money will fix your life. The problems that exist will still be there. You just have the security to then start dealing with them. If you get less money, but it's enough to make a difference for you, it still lets you work towards what you need and what you want. And I think that's important, because if you don't work for it, you'll never value it. I pick A. That was a good one. Oh, I would love to see you guys' responses in the comments to that one. I'm going to put my comment on the story on Reddit, but put your comments down below the video or in a review on podcast, wherever you're watching, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Tell me your thoughts, because this is a good one. Okay, story number 5 is coming to us from r/WIBTA_AITA. Would I be the asshole for bowing out of some family activities on vacation? My partner and I, both 30s, are on a Christmas vacation with my family. They were incredibly generous and paid for our whole trip, though we did offer to pay for our own tickets and lodging. It's my parents, my 2 siblings, and my married sibling's partner. The trip is 5 days and is on a different time zone for me and my partner. I love my family and enjoy spending time with them, but my mom seems to want us to spend every minute with them for 5 days. She also keeps guilting/shaming my partner and I for being tired in the evenings, even though our time zones are completely thrown off here. It's really upsetting my partner and stressing me out as well. Would I be the asshole for bowing out of some of the family events to spend time and relax with just my partner? Obviously, nothing that they've paid extra for so we can attend, but I'm thinking of planning a trip into town or something just for us so we can relax. But it's tough because I also feel beholden to them/obligated to do what they want since they paid for the trip, even though we offered/tried to pay and have paid for a group activity for everyone while we're here. Okay, that's a story. You said she keeps guilting/shaming you guys for being tired. Let's see. I'm trying to see if it says that she reacted to you guys wanting time alone. Okay, so you said it said your mom seems to want you guys to spend every minute with them. If every minute is not planned, which I would not enjoy a vacation that was 100% every day you have 8 to 5 itinerary. I wouldn't like that, because if I go on vacation, sure, I'm going to have some things planned, like a trip to the zoo, a trip to the aquarium, a trip to the beach, but outside of like the few certain things that the trip was for, like there needs to be time to relax, because you're not home. You don't have your pets with you to take care of, maybe. You don't have your house to take care of that you could be cleaning something or doing laundry or washing dishes. You should have free time on vacation. To me, that's what a vacation is for. Like, I'm trying to think of how vacation started or like what the dictionary definition of a vacation is. In my mind, it is free time away from home that you get to relax. I don't think you would be the asshole. I think, especially because you offer to pay and they refuse, I think you are completely right to say, hey, we're gonna sit this one out. We're gonna have an evening to ourselves. We're gonna go do dinner as a couple. We're gonna go do our own thing right now. We'll see you guys in the morning. Or we'll catch up with you later. That's fair. That's reasonable. It would be unreasonable for them to expect you for 5 days to not do at all what you want to do. For 5 days for you spent every minute with the whole family. I'm sure that could be great, but if it's not what you want, that is fair. And you should be able to make that choice. You are right, not the asshole. Take your time on your vacation to do what you want for a little bit. Because how often do you really get to go on vacation? Story number 6 is coming to us from r/WIBTA_AITA. Would I be the asshole if I attended Christmas gatherings when I'm beginning to have cold symptoms? Immediately, yes. But I'll read. Oh, there are several edits at the top. There's 2 edits. So I'm going to skip the edits to go down. Oh, the story is shorter than the edits. I, male 32, have just finished my last work shift before my time off back on the 23rd. Ever since then, I have begun to feel a little off. I'm constantly sneezing, throat is scratchy, the starting phase of a cold. On Christmas Day, my fiance, female 35, and I spend it with her family at their house for gifts and dinner. Whereas Boxing Day is my extended family party on my mom's side at my aunt's house 45 minutes out of town. We have everything ready for our holiday plans. I keep telling myself I did not wait all year just to miss out on holiday traditions. So I've been fighting it with Tylenol, hot showers, and cough drops leading up to the 25th and 26th events this week. I understand health comes first, but I really don't want to miss out. So, would I be the asshole if I attended Christmas gatherings anyway? Yes. But I'll read your edits. Edit to add an update. I have read over all your comments and appreciate the feedback. One of you mentioned I'm feeling pressured by family to attend. That is not true, given that there were other relatives in previous years that couldn't attend because of illness, and no one got mad and understood. I want you all to know I'm 100% aware of the risks involved in attending gatherings when sick. But at the same time, I'll be incredibly disappointed given that I never missed a year of my Boxing Day gathering, except 2019 when I went on my own Christmas trip out of country. As I type this, I'm not feeling as bad as I was when I originally posted this, so I decided I'm still attending the festivities. I'm still able to walk, smell, eat, etc., but if I'm unable to do any of those closer to, I won't attend. Edit 2. Hey everyone, I understand that most of you have said that I would be the asshole, and I honestly respect your opinions, and I can't agree more. I'm glad you're coming around to see how selfish you've been. To further clarify, Christmas Day was no issue since it was just my fiance's immediate family, and my fiance is presently sick herself and is therefore sitting out on my extended family's Christmas party, which has actually been pushed back to the 27th due to snowstorm conditions. Now, I tested myself for COVID, as some of you suggested, at a pharmacy earlier, and it's negative. I'm still going to that event as a result. I'll provide an update in a few weeks or so to confirm if everyone is okay. That's one of my pet peeves. For people to go to work, go to the store, attend things when they are obviously ill and possibly know they're contagious. And I understand sometimes I've done it. You don't have cold medicine. You have to go to the store or the pharmacy when you're sick to get the help you need. I understand that. But if it is events that you are choosing to go to, if you have time off from work but you still choose to go to work and get your coworker sick, if you want to go to a party just because you've never missed the party, that's selfish. That is selfish. If you know that maybe you just have allergies, you know you're not contagious, okay. But if you don't know what you have, if you feel like you are sick, don't go. Because wouldn't you feel bad if you got other people sick? I know I would. Even when I have been sick, had a cold, had strep, whatever, Like, after I get sick, regardless of what it is, like, my nose will run and I'll be sneezy for 2 or 3 days after I'm not actually sick anymore. My nose is just mad. I know I'm not contagious. I have taken my antibiotics. I'm fine. But I still will either not work or choose to work from home. I will avoid people because I still sound sick and I don't want people to think that I'm being that inconsiderate person that went to work or went to an event sick. I think it's selfish if you go to optional events just because you want to when you are ill and know that if it is something contagious and you know that you can get other people sick, that's selfish. Don't do it. So yes, and if you were sick before and you feel better at the event, that's different. But if you still felt sick at the time of the party, you would be the asshole for going. Yes, you're wrong. But I'm glad this OP came around in the end. Okay, I knew all my numbers until now. 6 or 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 stories for this week's episode of Was I in the Wrong? Thank you so much for being here for another episode of the Misty Morrison podcast. And remember, kindness changes everything. Bye, guys.